Novak Djokovic touched down safely, but hit turbulence when he tried to clear customs.
Rules are rules, and there are no special cases.
The world number one was detained by Border Force officers as his vaccine exemption was examined.
Novak Djokovic, the world's top-ranked men's tennis player, has been ordered to leave Australia.
It's fair to say that this whole incident is just not a good look for tennis or for Djokovic.
The Serbian president labelled the intervention harassment of the world's best tennis player, saying Serbia would fight for justice and truth.
I came here tonight because I heard that Novak is here at the airport, but he's not allowed to come to Australia, which is really disappointing.
Just a day earlier, Djokovic announced he'd been granted permission to play in the Australian Open. It quickly became clear a medical exemption ticked off by the Victorian government wasn't enough for the Commonwealth.
He was unable to furnish that proof to the Border Force officers at the airport last night.
Both governments are now arguing over who's to blame.
The Commonwealth issue the visas, we determine who then gets to play in that tournament.
As he waited for answers on his status, it's understood Djokovic spent much of the day at an immigration detention hotel in inner Melbourne.
Novak! Novak!
Freedom for Novak!
His exemption was approved by the Victorian government, and now suddenly the federal government saying we may have a problem. Now come on.
This year's Australian Open is a critical tournament for Djokovic. If he wins, it will be his 10th men's singles title at Melbourne Park. But more importantly, it would be his 21st major, meaning he would have won the most Grand Slams ever, one ahead of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Djokovic has now launched a legal challenge to his detention and the visa cancellation.
What actions now Mr Djokovic takes is a matter for him, but the government's actions are very clear, and that is for him to return to a country where he's able to return to at the earliest possible opportunity.
Until then, he'll remain in custody.
And as we just heard, Djokovic's legal team is fighting to keep the star in Australia. Nicole Asher has been following the story in Melbourne. Nicole, this is all moving very quickly. What's the latest?
That's right. So his legal team is arguing that his visa cancellation is both unfair and unreasonable, and they don't want him deported from the country before the judge comes up with a decision, and they want that decision before Tuesday, when they say the Australian Open needs to know whether or not he'll be playing. So there is a fairly tight time frame on this. This afternoon we heard that he is going to stay in detention for now. We're not exactly sure how long that will be. The federal government's arguing that they would like to be able to deport him whenever they like, and his lawyers are arguing that that should not be the case. When his lawyers suggested that he should be able to stay here until at least that decision is made, the Judge Kelly suggested that he wouldn't like the tail to be wagging the dog. So I suppose for everybody, the waiting continues.
Nicole Asher reporting.